Y'all are perfect and amazing. Welcome to State of Awareness. My name is Wright. I'm just going to get right into this. So I frequently get asked, like, where do I place my awareness? Do I focus on my breath? Do I focus on the thoughts appearing? Do I focus on meditation? Do I focus on the parts of my body? Like any question. So basically, awareness doesn't focus. Everything appears to awareness. Your attention is what is focus, okay? So if you're focusing on something and you're placing your attention on it, it's the same difference, okay? But it's getting placed within your awareness, because awareness just notices. Attention, focus, just fixates on the object. But it's always internal where you want to start placing your attention and placing within your awareness. It's not about how much saturation you do. It's not about like, let me just obsess over this and just constantly robotically affirm over and over and over and over again. It's not about that. The sky never changes, but it's always the clouds that are shifting, disappearing, appearing, going in and out, just like thoughts and emotions. They're always appearing and disappearing, but you're never the one that's appearing and disappearing, okay? You are never the one leaving with thoughts. You're never the one leaving with your emotions. You're always witnessing it appear to you because awareness notices. But it's when your attention and identification to the thoughts and emotions is where everybody trips up on. And so when I talk about meditation, okay, basically meditation is when you're having, because I love to do focused attention meditation, okay, where I'm placing my attention on my third eye or the tip of my nose, okay? So when I'm doing that, I'm allowing myself to I'm allowing the thoughts to just go by, okay? Because it's literally, with the average person out there, it takes 2 to 10 seconds for them to drift off into an ego story when they're meditating. And there's little things the body does, like the ego will trick you into doing, because the ego doesn't like stillness, okay? It needs to constantly be stimulated. It needs to constantly be thinking about something. So what the ego will do is like, oh, our nose itches. Oh, maybe we should turn up the fan. Oh, we should adjust the blanket. Maybe we should go get a glass of water before we do this. Oh, is the volume right on the TV if I'm doing guided meditations, you know? And then it'll be like, oh, are we even doing this right? Don't listen to any of that. Just focus your attention on the third eye, not like going cross-eyed, but literally like placing your focus on the third eye or the tip of the nose, okay? This gives you the ability to show that, hey, I'm not drifting with the thought. I can bring it back, because you're training your attention in that moment. You're training it like a muscle. And then you're raising in consciousness, because now you're just being still. You're allowing the thoughts to just die down, because it's all just stimulated thoughts. It's all just energy, okay? So when people start doing meditation, they're like, okay, I gotta go meditate to calm down the mind. They think that's the anchor for calming down the mind, which it helps dramatically. Any sort of observation of the thoughts is meditation in and of itself, because that's essentially what meditation is. You're observing the thoughts, you're allowing them to pass by, right? But people get fixated on just going to meditate as an escapism, all right? What really is happening is that they're just so energized and the body's feeling this overwhelming feeling that people typically will do meditation to calm the body down, right? And calm the mind down. This is perfect. But you want to go in and just train your attention, be the observer. Don't get caught up in like thinking that, because the thoughts in and of themselves are useless, they're meaningless, they don't matter. But people fixate on them and they think like they're getting tortured, and they think like, oh, they can't get past this. Everything's chaotic. This is why people don't like meditation. It's because they think they have to have a quiet mind, when really it's not that. You are witnessing yourself observing, okay? You're seeing the thoughts go by, and you're being the awareness in that moment, noticing, not attaching, not fixated on a thought, but noticing thoughts pass by. Because you are awareness. You're always noticing everything appearing to you. But it's when that attention, that boom, you lock in, and you start identifying with it and claiming it as yours. Here's like 4 steps to understanding how to do this. So when you're doing meditation, as awareness, you pick an anchor point, like your breath, third eye, the nose, the chest, whatever, okay? Then you're noticing the sensation rising up, okay? You're starting to notice sensations like the body sensations, the thoughts going in and out. You're starting to notice it. Pay attention to the fact that you are noticing this, though. Rest as this, okay? Rest sitting there, allowing the thoughts to go in and out, because now you're noticing the thoughts that are appearing and disappearing. You're noticing the sensations within your body. You're calm and relaxed. This is why I love silence meditations, because it's you with you. You don't have someone telling you how to do it. You don't have someone guiding you. And in the beginning, yeah, you can put on some ocean sounds and stuff like that. I like to do that too, like ambient sounds. But besides that, I sit in silence. I'll put my AirPods on noise cancellation, and just go to town with meditation. I love it. It's dramatically changed the way I view things, and it's dramatically helped my mental health, because now I know that I'm not identified as the ego with the thoughts running wild, because the ego is mental activity. And so thoughts and emotions, they're all just movements inside of awareness. all right? Because something has to be aware of them to even be relevant. Something has to see them in order for them to even be considered thoughts and emotions. They have to appear and disappear. So this doesn't mean you go fight them, you don't go flip them, you don't stop them. You allow them to pass through the lens of awareness. Most people get tripped up on this because they come from the LOA community. They think they have to flip their thoughts. They have to assign meanings to everything. They have to do, try, listen to subliminals, listen to sleep tapes to fix the automatic mind. But remember, this isn't duality. We're not living as two separate selves. We're not sitting here fixing a false self that isn't even real. Because in A Course in Miracles, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists, okay? That means the ego doesn't exist unless you identify with the thoughts in the mind. You're the awareness that knows the mind. You're the awareness that sees thoughts. You're the awareness that feels the emotions. And you're the awareness that has feelings, okay? But you're not defined by any of those. They all are temporary and they all flow in a screen of awareness. And meditation isn't there to control the mind. It's to teach you that you're not the one thinking these thoughts, okay? Because you're the awareness pretending to be a thinker. That's what we've been doing our whole life. Awareness pretending to be a thinker. You're not the thinker. You're not the doer. This is non-doership. So consciousness is the one doing everything, but the ego has such an identification issue that it wants to claim that it knows reality. It wants to claim and steal from your reality. It needs your attention to survive. But people that want to keep working on self-concept and think that's the foundation, why do you think they're always maintaining it? You don't have to sustain it anymore. Just recognize you were never the ego to begin with. It's not a self-concept issue, it's a mind identification issue. The ego will sit there and try to steal from your reality, basically trying to interpret every facet of everything. And once you start honing in on the awareness and the ego aspect of stuff, you'll realize that you've been operating under an illusion your whole entire life. We all have. So give yourself some grace, okay? Because you're not these thoughts that are appearing and disappearing, all right? And then on my next video, I'm going to talk about how we manifest as awareness, okay? Because it's quite simple. You don't need to saturate your awareness. You don't need to be an ego obsessed over it. But that will be on my next video. But anyways, you all are perfect and amazing, and I love all you guys. Stick with this. Don't give up on yourself. You're perfect.